The only problem is my wife has quarantined me in the greenhouse.
Dan's Kitchen Garden Allotments.
And welcome back to Dan's Kitchen Garden Allotment. I will explain in a minute where I've been, but today I'm in the greenhouse and I've got a few bits and pieces to do, and that also involves planting some seeds for the new year. So then guys, let's get this video started. Please don't forget to subscribe to come along and join the family. So then guys, where have I been? I haven't been down the allotment for probably, I would say, the whole of February. I wasn't down the allotment, and that was because I had a horrible chest infection, as I've mentioned in many of other videos. In the end, that took to clear up 6 courses of antibiotics. I had 2 courses of steroids, and now I'm on an asthma pump. Wow. I thought it was the big C, but it wasn't, as I'm regular tested as I work with vulnerable people as a chef. So I was getting better. The weather hasn't been the best, and I've been avoiding the allotment obviously when it's on rainy days like this. I'm not too sure if you can tell. Just spin the camera around a little bit, as you can tell. And I went to work on the 13th of February like usual, absolutely fine, and then I did a COVID test. After 2.5 years, unfortunately, I'll cover up the label so no one can scan it and get time off at all. I tested positive for COVID. Unfortunately, I got a positive test. Now I'm in about day 3. Day 3 of having COVID, and the only symptoms is I've got a blocked nose, and that's basically it at the moment. So touch wood, I'm hoping I've got off lightly, and I'm hoping very, very soon that I'm going to get a negative test very soon. So if my voice sounds a little bit funny in this, I apologise, or if I'm coughing a little bit, that's obviously down to this horrible disease. But today what I've decided to do is, we're in the greenhouse, we're going to start getting some seeds done. There's no risk of me spreading COVID to anyone except for my seeds. So then guys, let me put the camera on hold and let me show you what seeds that I'm doing for now. So these ones are going to be in another video very shortly, but I have recently planted up my sweet peppers, my chilies, and 2 varieties of tomatoes. But as I said, that video will be coming up very, very soon. But today, what I want to get planted is some cabbage. Like usual, everything comes from Wilkinson's. The only thing is I've noticed this year is the price difference. Everything's gone up about 25p. These were 50p last year, and now they're 75p. So it isn't too bad prices. I've got these leeks to do. I'll do 2 different varieties of leeks. I've got these ones, and I've got these Lena's ones. So I'm going to do 2 different varieties of leeks this year. And as you've noticed, I have left it a little bit later this year because of everything that's going on. Cucumbers, I'm going to do 2 lots of cucumbers, 2 different types of cucumbers, and these are the ones that I will be sowing in cucumber wise. So obviously if I have a lot of seeds left over, I'll probably be donating them to my brother if he needs them. What I thought I would do this year is a little test with Brussels sprouts. So what I've done is I've gone out, I've bought a 50p pack, and I've gone out and I've brought a £1.50 pack. So these are meant to be F1s. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 2 rows on plot 2 of Brussels sprouts this year. I'm not going to put them underneath that netted caging because unfortunately when we had that storm about 3 weeks ago, it just took the cage completely. So the cage is no longer there at the allotment. I'll explain more as that will become in. I'm not too sure if I'll be doing a February allotment update. I might do it in the March allotment update, but that's what we're going to be sowing this year. So then let me get the soil ready and I'll bring. What I'm going to do this year is compost prices have gone up absolutely crazy in the last 2-3 years, and what I thought I would do is in the greenhouse I've got loads of pots of the chilies which I used brand new compost last year, and normally what I would do is just chuck that onto the compost pile, let it mulch down and leave it for 2 or 3 years, but there's still preservatives in that compost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and reuse as much as that as possible. So what I'm going to do, if I just bring the camera down a little bit, so hopefully you got like a little bird's eye view sort of thing there, is I've got some of the old compost, I've just added it into a sieve and just sieving it out. And that should be absolutely fantastic for the seeds really to get going. But for them skeptic people out there, what I've got here is some all-purpose plant food as well, which I will just add into this as well. I think you're meant to dilute this one with water, but what I'm going to do is sprinkle a little bit on it as well. That shall do until we get the actual seeds. And here I've got some vermiculite from last year. I'll just add a bit of vermiculite. And here I've got some newish compost from last year as well, so I'll just add that. So this is a way just to bulk up your compost, so you don't have to spend so much money on compost at the end of the day, because it is getting more and more to garden, more money to garden, and as we all know, it can be quite expensive in the long run to be growing vegetables. We try and make it as cheap as possible, but personally I think that is absolutely perfect, and that's going to do an absolutely fantastic job of growing these vegetables. So then, guys, I'll start off. I've got a little tray here, as you can see, quite big. We don't do pot sowing this year. We're not doing pot sowing, not for a long time. What we're going to try and do this year is try and get them to the allotment as quick as possible, as soon as they're ready, so we have no problem with root rot, and also other diseases like we did last year. So all I'm going to do is add a. You don't want a massive layer, because this is just to get them up until you pot them onto the final pot, until they go to the allotment. Absolutely perfect there. And what I'm use, because I'm going to put 2 lots of seeds in here, what I've got is a load of old blinds. Basically I walked past the skip a few years back and they had 3 or 4 white blinds in there, and I've kept them ever since, just for this use, as labels, as dividers. And it just takes and that will give you exact side of what you've planted out. And also the other piece can be used as a label. So in this one we're going to be putting our Brussels sprouts. When I can find them. These were the cheap ones and the dear ones. Let's see which ones this year will be the best for Christmas. Just get into these. So let me know in the comment section below of what you're planting out now, and are you a lot further ahead than me? I suppose it's all depends on whereabouts in the country or the world you are, because of a lot of people, I believe up in Newcastle, they still get quite cold weather quite late in the year. But for us, I've checked the weather forecast for the next 10 days and it doesn't seem like we're going to have any really cold snaps, so that's good. I'm not going to be too worried about if I lose some, because I can always give them away. And now we move to, what pack was that? That was the cheaper pack, the 50p pack. And these are the £1.50 pack. Always cut your seeds away from your potting bench so you don't accidentally get seeds that you don't know which is which. So these are the £1.50 ones, and they don't even want to come out the packet. Actually seems like you get less in the £1.50 pack. That's all I've got in the £1.50 pack. Where's that packet gone? Let me just check what it says. Now I can't even find the bloody packet. It's up here. Well, £1.50 pack you get 40 seeds. The 50p packet you get 300. So definitely a massive difference. So hopefully these are going to be a good cropper this year, and I'm going to get plenty off of them. Because you can't beat a nice Brussels sprout at Christmas. All I do is cover it over lightly. I'll make some labels up, label it up, stick it on the side. Then till the next one, I'll bring you back in a sec. So now we're going to move to our leeks, and as you can see, leeks, what we do is we just put them in a pot like this, and then they end up growing like grass, and you just pick individual ones out and plant them out. But if you follow me through the year, you will see how easy leeks are actually to grow. So I've got two biggish pots. These are the 11cm ones. So you just want to put a bit of soil on them. And in a packet of these you get 300 seeds. This is going to be leek sample number 1. They say you can plant them. You can plant them anytime. You can plant them anytime now, and planting them outside will be March, June time, and they are ready to harvest in October, November, December, January, February. So they can go most of the winter without any problems. So it doesn't actually matter if you take so long with them. If you don't harvest them daily, you just harvest them weekly. So what I tend to do is I will put 300 seeds in my hand, hold it over the pot, so I don't want any different ones anywhere, and I will just sprinkle them all over. Try and not get any in the compost originally, and then I'll just get some of this compost and just bury it over. I've already prepared the labels this time, so them leeks were. The only thing is I forget where I put the blooming packet. Yeah, these are the mega ones, yep. And they will just get a water and sit it on the side. Normally with leeks, even in cold, frosty weather, you don't normally have a problem with germinating seeds and bits and pieces. I've had them sit out in snow before and they haven't died back at all. Why is this one being so awkward? All I do is snip them off. Looks like another 300 seeds. I'll have many leeks later. I can guarantee that much. Just mix them up a little bit, try and spread them all over the pot. Bit of compost on top and a label. There we are, that's your leeks done for 2022. Just add a little bit of water to them and they'll be ready to sit on the shelf and start growing away. So then I'm going to get the next thing prepped and I'll bring you back in a bit. So then, the last thing I'm going to plant for today, I was going to do the cucumbers, but having a look at it, it does seem a little bit early, I think, to be doing cucumbers. Let me know in the comment section below if you have done your cucumbers yet. So then, as I said before, just fill up the tray. These are going to be for 2 seeds, so we've got a half, 2 different types of seeds. We'll put that in there, and one of these sides I'm going to build up a little bit more because the seed will need more root space. So then, what seeds am I doing? First one's going to be the cabbage. This cabbage, it says you can, it does actually say sow directly outside, but sometimes I'd just rather sow it inside and then transplant it to the outside, because as we all know, the weather can catch most of us off. So now just give these a snip. Looks like another 300 seeds. I don't think that's enough there. If I got extra, I can always give them to my brother and he can put them on his allotment. So most of these, what you've seen today, like the leeks, the cabbage, the Brussels sprouts, they will all be going in rows on plot 2. So that is why I'm doing so many because these are going in rows. This year I'm debating if to do potatoes. I haven't actually bought any of the potatoes yet, which I know is a bit late. But the only thing is, last year I got whacked out with blight very early in the season. I think it was June, I think. And I lost my tomatoes and my my tomatoes and my potatoes very early. What I've got here is a pack of seeds. They look like pumpkin to me, maybe. or something in that range. I'm not too sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant 8 in here, and these are going to go where I had Carol's pumpkins last year on plot 1. So I don't know exactly what these are, what type of pumpkins or butternut or whatever. I'm not sure at all. So all I do is I'll pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them. I don't know what they are. We'll soon find out at the end of the year. And we'll just cover them up a little bit like that. So then guys, that's the seeds I'll be planting today, and I will show you them on the shelf. So that's how far I've got so far in my growing season. As I've said, I've got my sweet chilies here, I've got my chili peppers, my tomatoes, my other tomatoes, they'll be in the other video, my 2 leeks, as I said, I'll just leave them open, my 2 varieties of Brussels sprouts, obviously put a little propagator lid over just to make sure they stay a little extra warm. I just leave them open a little bit on top. And also I got my cabbages and my pumpkin maybes, if you can see with the label at the back. As I said, I've got no idea at all what's in them, and we will all find out together. So if anyone who's watching the videos, who enjoys the videos, would like to support the channel, I don't normally ask for support on the channel, but in my Amazon Prime list I've got things like this where you can just go along and list and buy them for the Dan's Kitchen Garden Allotment channel. That'd be all much appreciated, and also I'll be able to do a little shout out as well as these. So then guys, let's turn this camera around. So then guys, sorry about that, I had to change the battery from the GoPro. It died in mid-sentence, but I've got you propped up on top of the plant plots now. As you see, the growing season has started. I've got a few bits and pieces growing now, and hopefully it's only going to get more and more as the season goes on. I have seen pictures on Facebook of a lot of people done the tomatoes, and some of these tomatoes are 2 foot tall, but the thing is they're so thin, they're searching for light, and this is why I tend to do mine a little bit later in the season. Also, I'm hoping going to get back down the allotment very shortly, soon as I show a negative COVID test. The only problem is my wife has quarantined me in the greenhouse, so this is where I'll be for the next 3 days. Just hope there's no snow. So then guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please hit that subscribe button to come along and follow the family, and also if you like this video, please hit the like button as well. Until next video guys, I'll catch you later.